Hello everyone, my name is Jordan, also known as Scraps, and today I will be teaching you this breadwinner synth. It's a very dark type of wobble. We do a lot of peak removal because of the distortion. Then we use a widening technique that I thought was pretty useful. We give it some compression and a little bit removal. And to make it wobble, we use a pulsar, and I'll show you how to modulate this as well. So listen to a demo example that I have created, and hopefully you guys will understand where I'm coming from about this type of sound. And I'm pretty sure it's very useful. So enjoy. So it's pretty different from what you can tell. One of the things I like to do in order to keep me organized is I love to create combinators. They're found in utilities. Inside this combinator, I'm going to make a blank instance of subtractor. For the polyphony and range, I'm going to modify those two first. Then I'm going to go up to my first oscillator, second, and then we'll just take it from there. So for my polyphony, I want this to be 1. And for my range, I want this to be 1 as well. For my first oscillator, I'm going to change it to a positive algorithm. And I'm going to change it to wave 17. 17 kind of gives it a darker ring. Once we start to use the FM. The FM, by the way, is up 3 octaves, so that's 36. Or 36 semitones. That isn't semitones, but it's helpful to remember. Well, for me anyways. Anyways, for the second oscillator, I want to change this to a positive algorithm. I'm going to set it to waveform 9. And I'm going to also turn on the bypass for my filter 1. I'll make sure keyboard follow knob is up all the way. Now let's see. Yes. For the amp envelope, I'm going to take my decay and sustain all the way up. I'm going to take my attack all the way to 42, and my release, I'm going to take that to 44. For my filter envelope, I'm going to raise the attack to 28, the sustain to 44, and the release to 92. And for the amount of the filter knob, I'm going to change that to 38. Trying to be precise as possible. Okay, so right now, what we want to do after this is, we want to create a pulsar. And we're going to hit tab to flip it over. We're going to take the mod wheel and attach it to our CV, I think it's our rate, but I'm not sure. Nope, it's still, what is it, mod wheel? Yep, CV. Sorry, my bad, I was connecting the wrong thing. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is we want to have our level set all the way to 100%, I'm sorry. And set it to envelope sync. For the rate, I'm going to set it right now at 8/4. And I'm going to put on a little bit of shuffle, so about 73%. And the phase, I'm going to do at 104 degrees. No lag, and that should work pretty well. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is give it some distortion. So I'm going to use my soft tube saturation. I'm going to keep it on low, and I'm going to boost it to about 3.2. Now if your bandpass is up a little too much, I'm going to take that to 22 actually. So that gives us a little bit more definition in the sound. After our saturation, I'm going to go to my studio effects and create a unison. I'm going to set the unison to 4. I want to take the detune amount to 26 and the dry wet to 26. Again, we don't want too much unison because it can kind of create a phaser effect. And it's very subtle, but it can kind of get annoying when you're trying to create big chords or actually a nice breakdown. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a Scream 4 distortion after this. I want to bring my damage control to 40. For the type, I'm going to set it to 2. I'm going to set my P1 and P2 the same direction, so 83 for both of them. I'm going to create a equalizer after this. In fact, we create a couple, but for now I'll stick to the first one. Turn on low cut, P1 and P2. For the first frequency we're going to take out is 1.277 kilohertz. Take the gain all the way down, Q all the way up. Remember, these frequencies are not helpful frequencies. These frequencies get in our way. So for the second EQ, I want to take this to 3.9. Actually, let me double check this frequency. 3.296, my bad. And if you get it in the right area, that's not quite there, but it's close enough. And if you can't really get those finite numbers, hold shift. There we go. So after this, we're going to create another equalizer. We're actually going to create 4 of these. So let me install 2 more. So I'm going to just call this EQ2, EQ3, and EQ4. So for EQ2, we're going to set basically these at a lower setting. So I'm going to set my first one at 221 Hertz. Gain down, Q all the way up. Oh, that was my low shelf. My bad. So 296. Gain down, Q all the way up. 221. I'm sorry. Where is my head today? Anyways, for the second parameter, I'm going to set my frequency at 177.9. Gain down, Q all the way up. And I'm sure that these frequencies are helpful to get rid of, but I'm just going to take out those 2 for now because they're the most annoying so far. I'm sure you can figure out more frequencies to kind of get rid of and add, but that would take way too much time. So I'm going to skip ahead a little bit and I'll go to my studio effects and choose my unison. I'm going to take it to 16. The detune, I'm going to take that down to about 10. And my dry wet, I'm going to take that to 13. After this, we're going to create the echo. I want to bring my time all the way down. I'm going to bring up my feedback to 33%. I'm going to take the offset to 0 and make sure sync is on. It is on. Okay, and I'm going to bring up my drive to 50%. I'm going to set it to tube. After this, I want to create kind of a warmer, wider sound to this. So I'm going to create an RV7000 advanced reverb. I'm going to take my decay to 23 and my dry wet all the way to 14. After this, we want to create the pulverizer, which will give us a slightly dirtier sound. So I'm going to set my dirt to 61%. I'm going to set my rate, or actually the tremor frequency percentage, to 92. I'm going to set my rate to 4.70 kilohertz. Set spread on and make sure it is a sine wave. Turn up the follow to frequency. Make sure to 65%, I'm sorry. Make sure our threshold is at 17, our attack is at 42, and our release is at 63%. We're going to take our frequency back to 1.21 Hertz and leave the peak where it is. Boost the release. Take the tone back a little bit and do the routing to 0. After this, we want to compress the signal. So I'm going to create 2 line 6 bass amps and just turn them on. After this, we're going to create an M-class maximizer. Take it off limiter, put release to fast. Fast. Take on where's my head today? Turn on soft clip and set the amount to 127. And there you guys have it, your very own breadwinner synth. And I'll check you guys out tomorrow for another tutorial. I'm really cramped for time this week, and I'll check you guys out later. Peace.